Hello guys, in today's video we're going to be trying something a little bit different from the normal Battlefield content I've been putting out since I started back up with YouTube, and this is going to be F1 2016. So I'm going to look to do a career mode, and as you can see we're going with McLaren Honda and Alonso as our teammate. So this is the first time really I've been racing with all assists off, so yeah, I'm going to be starting on expert and then we're going to up the difficulty as soon as I get good enough with the assists off, basically. So I don't know if any of you have been playing F1 2016, but I really enjoy it. I played 2015 as well, and that's what made me get 2016. But yeah.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth.
So yes, welcome to the Australian Grand Prix, and we're starting off here with one of the practice programs, which is track acclimatization. You have to go around the track and hit the gates at the correct speeds and try and get your car through them, and you have to aim for a set score, and you get resource points for completing them either perfectly or well. I think it's 50 for perfect completion and 30 for good. And this is the tyre management program, so you go around the track 7 times on a set of tyres, trying to keep the tyre wear to a minimum and staying to the certain lap times. And then finally we have the qualifying program, which is just setting a qualifying lap in practice and trying to get the best time possible. So as you can see there, I got a perfect on the track acclimatization, and I got 2 I don't know what they call it, 2 just passes on the other 2. So all of those help you get resource points, which you can use to upgrade your car. There are 25 upgrades you can buy for your car, and you can work towards upgrading your car fully over the season, and it is a 10 season championship, I think, so you can pretty much upgrade your car and then switch to a team which is doing not so well. So moving on to qualifying here, this is Q1, so this is the first session of qualifying where the top 16 cars go through to the next session. And as you can see there, we post quite a good time, puts us into 11th, which is not bad considering we're in the McLaren. And then into qualifying 2, we are going with another set of super softs. So for those of you who don't know, you get 3 tyre types, and in Australia it is super soft, soft and medium. And yeah, the super soft's the quickest, the soft is slightly slower and the medium's slightly slower. And the wear is vice versa, basically. So, qualifying 2, as you can see, we went a bit off coming towards the end of the lap, but I was up on my best. So this turned out to be slightly slower, I think, but it put us in 8th, and that was in Q2. And in Q2 the top 10 cars go through to the final session of qualifying, which is where you put in your fastest lap to determine what place in the top 10 you'll be starting on the grid. And surprisingly enough, we came 8th again. I was a bit annoyed because I knew I had a bit more time I could make up, but I just made a few mistakes really throughout that lap, and yeah, it just wasn't the best time I could have posted. But 8th is still good. I mean, we got quite a bit higher than Alonso. I think Alonso finished 11th maybe, so it's not bad for our first race, our first qualifying, I mean, without any assists. So the assists, I don't know if any of you have played F1 2016, but for those of you who don't, the assists are such as anti-lock braking, traction control, and if you have them turned off, it just makes it harder to stop the car and accelerate out of the corners without spinning out, basically. So there you saw my resource points from the session. I had 809, as you can see in the top right. So we're going to upgrade the engine. Now, because I'm with the McLaren Honda, it's got a very low top speed, it's very weak in the power section, so my tactic is going to be just upgrade the engine fully before I upgrade anything else. Now, in the race there, you can see starting with the strategy, and we chose a 2-stop strategy. So we're going to be starting on the super softs, the tyre we started, or we qualified on, so we will be starting on. and then going on to 2 pairs of softs. So we get quite a good getaway. I was hoping to try and make up a position, but we stick it down the inside of Massa, and then we have to swerve to avoid the 2 Ferraris there. They go into a bit of trouble, and I didn't really want to be losing my front wing in the first corner, so I backed out a bit and gave them a bit of room. Now we're going to dive down the inside of Massa into the hairpin here and push him off a little bit there, probably a bit over aggressive there maybe, but you know, it's all good. So not a bad start, a huge corner cut there, don't look at that was bad driving, but we make up a place and we will try and keep this position. Bit of oversteer off that corner, but as we come to the end of this first lap, we've managed to close that gap a little bit to the back of Vettel, and it looks like Verstappen in front of him there, so we get a great exit out of that corner, and that's put us right on the back of Vettel. And even with the low top speed of the McLaren, we managed to get alongside Vettel, and we managed to shove it down the inside of Ricciardo as well. Now we are on the super soft, so we had an advantage over Ricciardo there, but we managed to go very late on the brakes. And that was something I have noticed with this McLaren. It's very good on the brakes here, so I can really go in deep to the corners and outbrake a lot of the other cars. Now, at the end of lap 2, going on to lap 3, we've managed to get up to the back of Raikkonen, and again another great exit there, and we get straight past Raikkonen there, down the home straight. Top speed letting us down a bit here, but we're going to shove it down the inside of Verstappen, and that is probably some of the worst driving you are going to see on any F1 2016 YouTube. And we lose our front wing there, so it's not ideal. Lap 3 to have part of our front left wing missing. But I was surprised actually, we managed to hold on very well. I mean, it's lap 6 now we're on, and even with the missing front wing, we've managed to stay ahead of Raikkonen and the rest of the pack, which I was really surprised by, because normally I really struggle when we lose the front wing there. As you can see, Raikkonen shoving it down the inside there. We give him a bit of room because I didn't really fancy losing the other side of my wing either, and I knew I could probably put it down the inside of him going into this hairpin, because we have been able to go in late on the brakes. As you can see there, bit of a late move, but Raikkonen left the door open, so we managed to just get that place back. So, as you can see, we're managing to struggle with the front wing damage, but as we come into the pits now, we're going to be able to get that changed, and that will take about 5 extra seconds than Raikkonen, who I believe has stopped with us. So we're probably going to lose a place or 2 due to that front wing damage, which is a bit of a nuisance really, but what happens. My sloppy driving means we get a bit of a penalty there. So as you can see there, yep, we lose a place to Raikkonen, and it was Verstappen. So Verstappen getting back in front of us after we sideswiped him there, and that puts us back out in 18th place behind Felipe Massa. Oh no, 19th behind Ricciardo. Ricciardo just manages to sneak through there. That's down to that front wing change we had. So behind Ricciardo going into this hairpin, I decided to just shove it down the inside of him, and it was quite an easy move really. So we're now on a pair of soft tyres, so they're going to be slightly slower than the super softs, but we have an advantage over the cars which are on the mediums. So we're going to try and catch up to the back of Massa, who is actually on the super softs, but I feel that we have good pace, and there we go. He obviously made a pit stop, and now we are on the back of Nasser. Oh no, actually he passed Nasser. So we shove it down the inside of Nasser, and now we're back behind Felipe Massa. I was going to think about shoving it down the inside of Massa, but I thought that may end up in us losing our wing again. But going very deep there, almost collected the back of Massa again, but we get another good run. Williams though has a very high top speed, and even with DRS you can see we're not really making any inroads. Just about at the end of the straight we managed to get there, brake very late, and we go very deep into the corner, but we managed to just about keep it there. We will get DRS again, and going into that hairpin I'm going to hug... No, I'm not going to go defensive, and we managed to keep that position very nicely. So on lap 10 now, we're behind Verstappen, who is on the mediums, and I'm pretty sure not I haven't got it on film, but I'm pretty sure Verstappen was having some technical problems, so he should be catching up. Massa goes down the inside of us there, obviously got a much better run, but I was quite confident that we could get back at him at some point. So I thought I'd just let him get through. We can pick up DRS in the detection zone here, and as we do on the home straight, we get DRS and the slipstream, so we can just shove it down the inside of him nicely there, very late on the brakes, but we managed to make the apex this time. So, as you can see there, Verstappen going very slowly, and we managed to catch up with him. So as you can see, the end of lap 11, it only took us about half a lap to catch him, and Verstappen gets a blowout. He has got a puncture on his tyre, and I was so distracted by this at the time, I just completely missed my braking point. Went straight past the corner, and I'm lucky that Massa was slowed down by Verstappen and his puncture there, because that was a big mistake, and that could have cost us quite a few places. So, nothing really happening on the next 3 laps, so we skipped to lap 14. We have managed to catch up with Alonso, and I believe it is Hamilton. And I see Alonso having a go at Hamilton, and I decide to just go late on the brakes, dive down the inside. It's 3 abreast into this hairpin, and somehow we don't touch each other there. Got very lucky there that there was no contact, and we managed to come away with the best position there. So, up in 4th place on lap 18, oh, 3rd place actually, lap 18. Hamilton getting a very good run. I take the defensive inside line. There's another car there, I think it is one of the Ferraris, and as we go in 3 abreast, and I get touched, and all 3 of us go off the track. Now, we're going to take a look at this on the replays. I thought this was not my fault. I went defensive. I was as close really to the edge of the track as I can. As you can see, the Ferrari and the Mercedes of Hamilton just both turned into me really. I think it was the Ferrari that touched me there. I was going to make that corner easily. I'd slowed down a bit, and as you can see, I think it's Vettel just completely turns into me, knocks my back right tyre, and I go straight into Hamilton, and that's all of us going off there. I think it might actually be Hamilton to blame the most, cutting across Vettel there, giving him nowhere to go really. But that's lost us quite a lot of time, and that was the lap we were coming into pit, so that is quite annoying there. It's probably lost us about 4 or 5 places, and we're coming in to set our last set of tyres on. So 11 laps to do on these set of soft tyres, and we've got to try and come back through the field now. P15, let's see what we can do, see if we can get back into the points. So on lap 20 now, we've got another 2-3 cars in front of us, and we're going 3 abreast again. We got a very good drive out of there, and oh, I was going to pull out of it, but they just left the door so wide open, they kind of invited me to make that move, so I decided to just take their offer and shove it up the inside there. So up into 12th place, 2 places until we get into a points paying position, and that would be really good on our first race of the season. Now behind Gutierrez here, we get a very nice run out of that corner there, right up the back exhaust of his car, and it looks like we're shaping up for a move here, and we're going to shove it down the inside here. Not very often you see many overtakes happen there, but we managed to pull it off there, and we are on the hunt for that 10th place, that 1 point we can get. And Jolyon Palmer is now out of the race. He was behind us though, so that doesn't really help us out here, but we're going to take a look at what happened to him. So let's see what happened to Jolyon. So he's just going along, and yep, just an engine blowout there. So they're pretty common on F1 2016, so I'm surprised we've only had 1. And then straight away after the virtual safety car's over, Nico Rosberg is out of the race, so we're going to have to take a look at what happened to him. And it looks like he's fine there, no one near him, so it's just literally his engine's just cut out on him. So that is disappointing for Nico. I think he might have been in a podium position, but we're going to take that, and that's going to put us into the top 10. So we're going to get that 1 point, if nothing else. So as you can see, go past Rosberg, who was pulled off there, and that was on lap 23. We were looking to catch the car in front of us, I think it was Ricciardo, but at the end of the day, we just didn't have the tyres left. We managed to close the gap to about 3 seconds to Carlos Sainz, but we just couldn't pull it back any further. So we're going to come across the line to take 10th place. So not a bad result for our first race. It could have been a lot better, but that incident with Hamilton and Vettel just really ruined our race there. But I'm quite happy with 10th place. We're going to go into Bahrain, hopefully picking up some more points in the next round. Bottas with the win there, that's quite a surprising result there, and Hulkenberg in third, so that's an interesting podium there. So it was Bottas, then Hamilton, Hulkenberg, and our teammate Alonso in 4th place there. As you can see, a lot of the top 10 only did one stop, so we really got beaten badly by the one-stoppers. We've really lost out on that second pit stop, and I think most of them must have started outside the top 10. So that's a really surprising result there, but that's what happens in F1, I guess. So we pick up some more resource points. We're not going to buy anything with them, we're going to save them up and save up for the next engine upgrade. But that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment on what you think, and if you would like to see any more of this. I'm going to upload, well, I'm probably going to upload them anyway because I enjoy playing this game anyway. But I hope you guys like the content, and I'll see you next time.